Hello again to one and all. It is time for another show review! Huzzah! Hooray! Confetti raining down from the ceiling. We all dance and are joyful. Or so we hope anyway. I hope you're all having a wonderful Wednesday evening, afternoon, Thursday morning, whatever it might be, the time or day when you're tuning into this. I'm following through, and I said that I would go ahead and put up another show review today, even though I put up one just a couple days ago. The last show review featured Wayne Brady, and this one also features Wayne Brady because, as I said before, he did 2 tapings, and this show review will be about the second taping, the late evening taping, so yay! Before I get into that, though, I just want to say something really quick. Thank you so much to everyone who has been subscribing to the channel. It means a lot to me, and more importantly, it shows that people are going to start backing and supporting the show. I really do appreciate all the help and support, especially those of you who have been helping to promote the channel and help us gain subscribers. Anyone who's posted the link anywhere, talked about the channel, talked about the show, thank you so much. Please continue to keep doing that, and don't stop when the show starts. You know, keep letting people know, because it's really going to be important the first, few weeks or so of the show when it airs, how many people are tuning in and the ratings, because I don't know about you guys, but I want the show to be able to continue. I want there to be more than just the first season. And it's quite probable that if the ratings are good, this could continue forward and we can get even more episodes and more tapings and more shows. So, but we can't do that without people tuning in, without people, creating jazz for it. There has been a few rumors, keyword rumors, that, if the show is very successful, maybe it can be released out to other channels on syndicated television, meaning that it'd be easier. There's also, again, talk that if the show is big enough, it could maybe go international. Maybe it can go to Australia or the UK, wherever. It just needs to have the initial backing first to show that there's enough support for it in order for it to do that. I'm going to be making a video later on in the next week or so on what you can do if you don't get GSN. I know there's a lot of you who either cannot afford cable and do not have GSN on your cable, or you're out of the country. There are some options on what you can do if you don't have that, and I'm going to be explaining those because I know that's probably the number one thing that people have been asking me, and I haven't really been replying to that because I'm trying to figure out, ways and things that you can do in order to be able to watch the show. But I'm going to answer that to the best of my means in a forthcoming video, probably in the next week or so. And also don't forget that there is still one final cast promo left, and in my opinion, it's the best one. 1, because it's the longest, 2, because it's exceedingly funny, and 3, I just think a lot of people are really going to enjoy the final one. I'm not going to say who it is yet. I will unveil who is in the cast promo, I should say, when we reach 4,000 subscribers. We're only about 600 subscribers away from that. And then when we reach our big goal of 5,000, I will actually upload the final cast promo. And so again, to help us out, post the link around Facebook, Twitter, LiveJournal, Tumblr, your personal website. Feature one of our videos on your YouTube page. Tell your friends and your family. Just, if every one of our current subscribers just got one person to subscribe, we would have more than our next goal amount. That's all I'm saying. So, I know a lot of you have been really working hard and helping us and promoting it, so again, I thank you all. But we need more. And it's not for us mainly, it's more to help the show. So, again, I thank you for your time. But anyway, enough with all that. I'm going to get on to the actual show review now. Hooray! And, yeah, so this show was the second show on February 4th, 2011. It featured Wayne Brady, Greg Proops, Ryan Stiles, Drew Carey, Colin Mockery, and Brad Sherwood, and also Jonathan Mangum. So again, it was a 7-person show, which they had a few of the 7-person show, but most of them were 6 people. Again, it's a rotating cast. I know some of you have been like freaking out when I say a show review and someone's not mentioned. It is a rotating cast. Please read the description in all the videos. I explain a lot of things, like where the show was taped, when it was taped, when the actual premiere date is, the times it's premiered, the channel. I give a lot of information in every single video description. You can also find information on the YouTube page itself, the front page, the home page, I should say. So if you have any questions, please look there first, and if you still have a question, feel free to send me a personal message and I'll get back with you, okay? Thank you. Anyway, back to the show review. So, the first game, of course, was Freeze Tag, and this was something I had remembered yesterday that I didn't mention in the first show review. I can't remember if this occurred during this show or the one I reviewed a couple days ago. But there was one particular freeze tag moment where Wayne was setting up to jump on a trampoline, and he ran off stage into the audience and kept looking back, like, you know, how like he was getting ready to run and jump. And then he kept running back further and further into the crowd. And then he leapt up on top of this, I don't know how to describe it. It was a part of the audience where the seats are, sort of like a ledge, I guess you could say. And he jumped up on the ledge and he was kind of teetering and hovering on the edge like he was going to leap off of it and run onto the stage. And then someone froze it right at that moment where he was about to leap. And it was just hilarious seeing his expression because he wasn't expecting to be frozen and he had to stay there on the ledge. And then they redid the scene and no one actually went out into the audience to get Wayne. It was really funny. It's not quite as funny. Like, me just explaining it right now isn't nearly as funny as it was, but I hope they keep that bit because it was hilarious. That's all I'm saying. The second game was New Choice. It was played by Greg and Ryan, and Jonathan did the calling for it. And I have written in my notes that there was something about being a writer and getting a transplant. I do not remember this game whatsoever. So I'm just drawing a blank on it. Totally drawing a blank. So I'm going to move on. The third game was Song to an Audience Member. And I paused because I have a note on here that is totally indescribable to me. Huh. Anyway, I'm gonna move on then. It was sung by Jonathan, Wayne, and Brad, and it was done in the form of a Broadway song. I'm still pausing because I'm just trying to discern what my writing was, but I can't. I write everything down really quick while I was at the shows because I wanted to enjoy the show and watch the show and not be busy writing, so I just wrote a little bit too fast there, and it looks like a scribble, so whatever. Anyway, it was another trio song, and I mentioned this in the last show review, that I really like it when they do the trios, and they do really well. It's interesting to see than just the typical two-man duo. The fourth game that was played was Options with Drew and Colin, and the caller was Wayne, and it was about hair transplants and gynecology. Yep, the famous gynecology made it in. Woohoo! Yeah. And again, I don't really remember what that game was about. It's been too long, sadly. The fifth game that was played was Question This. It had everyone... But... What? These are the worst notes I've ever written. Shame on me. It looks like, for this, Brad was the caller. Well, not really the caller. The person who places Alex Trebek. And it was, this is the most undiscernible note. I feel like kicking myself because I'm looking at this going, what the hell does this mean? I believe, from what I can read, is that it looks like everyone played this game but Ryan and Colin. I could be wrong, but that's the best I can make out from this. Shrug shoulders. I'm sorry. The sixth game was Moving People. And it was played by Ryan and Jonathan, and it was set in Belgium. And I don't remember a whole lot about that game, but I remember it being really funny. Ryan doesn't play Moving People very often anymore, but I remember that that was a particularly fun Moving People. But that's all I really remember about it. The seventh game was Two-Headed Expert. And it was played by Brad and Colin. And also by Greg and Drew. And it was set in an amusement park. Oh, that was a pretty fun Two-Headed Expert. Like I said, Two-Headed Expert is really hit and miss. Some of them are really good and some of them are just kind of like, eh. At least in my opinion. And this one was more like the, yay, gold star sort of Two-Headed Expert. Again, in my humble opinion. The eighth game that was played was Kick It. And I really enjoy, I mentioned this before, I really enjoy Kick It. Kick It is so much fun. And it was played by Jonathan and Wayne, and Ryan did the calling for it, and it was all about teeth. And Jonathan and Wayne did so good. Jonathan and Wayne have the same kind of chemistry together that Ryan and Colin did in, you know, the old Who's Line days. Their chemistry together is just so strong. They work so well together that it's just such a treat to watch them perform. They're both so lively and energetic, and they really add I'm faltering for words just because I'm not quite certain how to describe it. So when you see it, if you've seen like what they've done on Fast and Loose, I think that's only but a taste of what they can do. They're also on Let's Make a Deal Together, but again, that's just a taste of how well they really perform together. The ninth game was Sentences, and it was played by Drew and Ryan, and it was a combination suggestion for this, and it was set for Bewitched, and they were go-go dancers. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, say no more. And that was a really fun Sentences, if I remember correctly. The 10th game was Sound Effects, played by Greg and Colin, and they were race car drivers. And I don't remember a whole lot about that particular game. I remember it being good. I remember this was, again, one of the best shows I've been to. It was all around a very good show. I love this show. And I can't wait for it to air as an episode. If GSN was smart... I don't know if they'll actually do this or not, but in my opinion, once again, I think GSN would do really well to air for the very first episode, one of the episodes with from one of these two shows. I'm just saying. The final game was Greatest Hits, and it was again sung by Wayne, Brad, and Jonathan, and Ryan and Colin were the two people selling the CD set. And they did it in the style of New Orleans voodoo. Yeah, I'm not even sure exactly how to describe that one, but it was cool. Funk and Motown. And so, yeah, that's really it for this show review, and so I'll have the next one up in about a week. So tune in then, and hope you're having a fantabulous day. Good night. Goodbye.